dedicate your time and energy on the avenues that matter most to you, such as the story, the transformation it offers, and how that relates to your connections and audience. Then the right opportunities and avenues will always find their way to you. Welcome to the Conscious Publicist podcast, a space where thoughts become ideas to advocate for a more conscious human experience in the media. Our thoughts and ideas inspire action, and the most notable leaders and organizations have transformed thoughts and ideas into global initiatives that have impacted the lives of millions. My name is Ashley Graham, and as a woman-owned business founder and publicist, I guide leaders, visionaries, and creators in discovering their conscious media voice and methodologies that inspire connection, community, and impact through aligned media channels. In this podcast, we'll dive into public relations, thought leadership, business, and entrepreneurship, all through the lens of being a conscious human being. I'll take you behind the scenes into the habits, thoughts, and modalities that have helped leaders shift past paradigms of limiting beliefs, comparison, and self-doubt to show up for themselves to become the subject matter experts they were called to be. Subscribe to the show on Apple or Spotify and join us on this journey of awakening the conscious, enlightened leader within you. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Conscious Publicist podcast. In today's episode, we are going to dive into unlocking the door of opportunities, which is all around the opportunities that come from activating the power of your conscious voice in thought leadership. For those connecting with me for the first time, my name is Ashley Graham. As the host of the show and the activator of the Conscious Publicist, I am passionate about supporting purpose-driven leaders, businesses, as well as organizations, and sharing their voices, stories, missions, and methodologies through thought leadership. Throughout my entrepreneurial journey, I have supported a number of my partners in sharing their thoughts and ideas around mindful leadership, social impact, and finding a greater purpose in life and business, all through the lens of telling authentic, engaging, and impactful messages that raise new standards within today's competitive leadership landscapes. I like to think of my clients as teams of courageous people who have embraced change, adversity, and new beginnings through stages of rebirth in their lives, both personally and organizationally. My clients' experiences invite them to look at the world holistically and to find opportunities for alchemy through experiences that may seem mundane to others. Reflecting and seeing these areas of growth and expansion is a gift, even at the organizational level, as there is so much we can learn from others and their experiences while applying them to our own lives. Sharing relevant experiences through storytelling, especially in thought leadership, provides a space for aligned transformations and shifts for those feeling stuck and stagnant, creating a positive ripple effect on the masses. Now, if you listened to the previous episode, you heard me talk about a terminology I've coined called voice activation and how to harness the power of your conscious voice. Our conscious voice is the inner calling and voice that guides us into new expansive phases of our lives and often unfamiliar experiences. This growth can feel overwhelming and introduce us to fears we've never met before, but there are endless opportunities and possibilities that come from having the strength and courage to listen to that conscious voice and what it wants to introduce to us on the other side. Voice activation is a term on the expressive energy that naturally comes from mastering a new sense of self through self-mastery, which is the transformation we acquire through our experiences and the modalities that guide us into new stages of growth and expansion. Self-mastery is another term I've coined, which is divinely connected to thought leadership as it is the catalyst for manifesting the conscious voice, which leads us into telling the stories and messages that matter. Our experiences through self-mastery hold so much wisdom, And voice activation is a way we can use our conscious voice to impact the lives of those around us. This is where my passion and influence in PR, media relations, and thought leadership truly come into play. I want to dive into an analogy that came to mind as I was reflecting on the impact of the content in this episode. And to just briefly dive into it, there is an intersection between self mastery, voice activation, and the conscious voice, and how it pertains to my perception of public relations, media relations, and thought leadership. I'm not going to dive into that in this episode because there is plenty more to share, but stay tuned for a future episode on the connection between those analogies because I do believe they support one another very beautifully. Bringing it back to the main takeaway of the episode, I wanted to dedicate some time and space to talk about how the conscious voice opens an incredible door of opportunities for us. Our conscious voice can connect us to many new paths to explore and open new doors of opportunities, as well as experiences that may not have been available before. Our conscious voice can connect us to either leading an organization or becoming an integrated part of an existing organization where your voice advocates for that organization's mission. Our conscious voice can also connect us to our innate desires to become a leader, as well as shape our leadership voice to advocate for causes we believe in. Our conscious voice can also guide us into better ways to connect with others in life, whether personally through our family, friendships, and romantic relationships, but also through our professional relationships and career and business. Lastly, our conscious voice can also connect us to new ways of expression through writing, speaking, coaching, or guiding and teaching others. Additionally, our conscious voice can serve as a guide, really, for finding new ways to express ourselves and essentially is all about using our unique voice and perspective to positively impact different areas of our lives and the lives of others. As I am passionate about creating stepping stones in my episodes with this media activation, I want to dive in on ways that you can use the conscious voice in thought leadership, regardless of your current role or status. Whether you're a coach, an executive, an author, or simply just a visionary, you can step into the role of thought leadership at any given time. A common misbelief in PR, media relations, as well as thought leadership is that you need a business or a brand to show up in thought leadership or through the media. And although having a business or brand helps support your efforts, you can truly show up as a thought leader in the media or in thought leadership simply with your passion and drive to share your creative endeavors. Thought leadership truly is using passion and drive to share your ideas and message through mediums and channels. And again, you can start that at truly any given time. Shifting into some of the ways that you can activate your conscious voice in thought leadership, I want to further dive into the mediums and channels that can get you started regardless of whatever stage you may be in. Starting at a more advanced level, we can start activating or harnessing the power of your conscious voice in thought leadership by simply turning your voice into your leadership or education voice and methodologies. This is where you would use your personal or professional knowledge and experience to guide and teach others. This is perfect for ways to position yourself as a subject matter expert, as it's highly targeted to your expertise and what you want to be known or recognized for. Also, at a more advanced level, harnessing and activating the power of your conscious voice and thought leadership is using your voice to create speaker talks, presentations, or workshops. This is focused on giving speeches or presentations on topics that align with your beliefs, values, expertise, as well as shared interests or needs with the audience. This is a very personal and powerful way to position your voice and message. But what's even more powerful is the connection that's made with the audience. There is nothing more lively than real-time connection, And this is a way to attract those who will provide affirmation to the impact of your message. For thought leaders in all stages, really, another way to harness and activate the power of your conscious voice is through writing. Writing can include writing contributing articles or guest blogging or writing for other platforms. Writing articles or blog posts on topics that align with your beliefs, values, as well as your expertise allow you to tap into your written conscious voice. This is a beautiful way to position your voice with platforms that also speak the same conscious language as you do. Again, for thought leaders in all stages, another incredible channel or medium of harnessing and activating the power of your conscious voice in thought leadership is through podcasts. Hosting or appearing on podcasts that align with your interests, beliefs, values, as well as expertise is a great way to create an auditory connection to your conscious voice for the audience. In comparison to speaking opportunities or workshops, this is a beautiful way to make an emotional connection with your audience, as it's a way to make them feel more personally connected to your message. Another channel and medium for activating the power of your conscious voice and thought leadership is through media interviews. Being interviewed by media outlets on topics that align with your beliefs, values, and expertise is another way to tap into your conscious voice that speaks to your leadership role in the media. These opportunities can oftentimes come with more advanced levels in thought leadership. However, it is not uncommon to attract opportunities to be interviewed in the media if you have nurtured your core message and what you want to be recognized for and are recognized for. Another avenue to explore when it comes to activating the power of your conscious voice in thought leadership is through content creation. Content creation can include creating and sharing posts, videos, stories, audio clips, or interviews on platforms such as social media. This is an incredible way to align your personal beliefs, values, and expertise in front of the audiences that are craving to see your content. This is a great way to launch your thought leadership journey as well as nurture it every step of the way. Further elaborating on ways to utilize content as a means to activate the power of your conscious voice in thought leadership is creating content on a personal blog or in an e-newsletter. Writing and publishing a personal blog or e-newsletter on topics that align with your beliefs, values, and expertise is a personal way to attract and connect with new audiences. This is a great way of honing in on your signature topics and messages that can be crafted as signature pieces for other forms of media or other forms of content that can all support one another. Last but not least, another avenue to activate the power of your conscious voice and thought leadership is through books and essays. Writing and publishing books or personal essays on topics that align with your beliefs, values, and expertise is a great way to hone in on the wisdom and knowledge of your signature topics and how that relates to your ideal audience. To begin wrapping this episode up, I want to bring the conversation back full circle. When we think about unlocking the door of opportunities through the activation of our conscious voice and thought leadership, there are opportunities for growth and expansion both internally and externally. When we utilize channels or mediums like the ones that we have expressed in this episode, we provide ourselves with the tools and the resources to reflect on our own personal voice, to structure that into our expertise, but it also opens up an incredible landscape or blueprint to attract other opportunities based off of people acknowledging and recognizing the wisdom in your expertise and the voice that you are sharing. I want to preface that the path to thought leadership and being recognized for your expertise truly takes time and is a journey, not a sprint. However, you can start and pivot at any moment depending on how you evolve and expand through this role. Just like the law of attraction, opportunities flow where awareness and dedication goes. Therefore, dedicate your time and energy on the avenues that matter most to you, such as the story, the transformation it offers, and how that relates to your connections and audience. Then, the right opportunities and avenues will always find their way to you. I hope you were able to find some elevated inspiration here through this conversation on ways that you can begin using your conscious voice to begin telling the stories and the messages that matter and inspire others. This work is so powerful and it is ever evolving. But again, my hopes is to bring you the stepping stones in every single episode to provide you with value and insight on how you can embark on your thought leadership journey at any given time. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you in the next episode.